how a woman's waters break. But once her water has broke and it hits the floor, the waters have now been separated from her body back to the earth. Then you come into this planet.
That's not what it meant.
I didn't say that's what it meant. I'm saying these are
Well,
correlations,
the only reason why I'm
right?
saying is not what
Hold
it
on,
meant
just
is because you said.
let me finish before you draw your conclusion. Because I'm not saying that what I'm saying is a fact. I am saying I draw correlations between things. Okay, this is for me, and so I draw correlations between them, and this is how I see it. I'm not here telling you this is a fact. I'm not here telling you that what I am saying is the truth. I am telling you I see a direct correlation, and that's why I came up with my understanding.
with his theory. However, I do want to add in there that he did at the end of his last statement say that the black woman is not necessarily God, but the closest thing to what is God in its absolution.
I understand all of that. When you make statements like it's not debatable, and then you go into saying, "Well, I'm not saying it's a fact." That's why I stepped
No, no,
in.
no.
Only because I only stepped in right there because you said it wasn't debatable. About 90% of what you said was debatable.
No. What I said
Starting with,
that
and that's
was
why I
not
asked the question.
debatable.
Listen,
Okay, what I
that's why
said
I asked
was
the
not
question.
debatable was the fact that you went to her for your substance, that you go to her for your
That's
comfort, that you came
debatable.
through her, and then I said those things. You understand? I
That's
did not say
debatable.
that. No, it's
That's
not.
not
You
everybody. Yeah, that's not everybody's experience.
Reality, right?
Some people weren't raised on the breast milk, for one. Some people didn't have comfort in their mother, for two.
okay?
Some people found more comfort in their father, especially the girls, for three. Some people went to their father for sustenance, for four. Some people,
Well,
mothers
bring
didn't
that
like
back.
them.
How do you go to your father for sustenance when you need breast milk? Yes, we live in a world where there's artificial
Then you don't
things, right?
need
Where you
breast
can,
milk.
no, but you do need breast milk. We know that you need breast milk for your enhancement. We know that you need breast milk for the development of bones to develop
But how
properly.
many?
We know that
No,
you cannot
the
develop properly.
There are plenty of people in
See, he
the there
So,
are
allowed you
plenty of
to.
yeah,
people in the community
you're
that I
right.
came up
My bad.
in.
Let me mute up.
There are plenty of people that in the
Let me
community that I came up in that developed properly without breast milk.
That's debatable as well, but okay.
What is properly?
Properly. So getting the proper nutrients that you need to develop, right? We know that cancers are less likely prone, right? We have these studies that show when a child, right, was breastfed, they're less likely to develop certain cancers, autoimmune diseases.
Okay, so then check this
So
out.
this is what I say when I say proper.
Okay. Okay, so then if you're saying that people needed to get their nutrients from the breast milk, were there other ways to get those nutrients?
There are today, yes, they have formulas, but they're not equivalent. They're nutrients, but they're not equivalent.
It's not hard to make nutrients be made available that are equivalent to what the woman produces out of her breast. All you have to do is make those either be supplements, some type of way you provide it in a diet, whether it be the milk, almond milk, formula, whatever. My point is, a lot of people were raised up and not being breastfed, and they were able to still properly develop with no ailments. No ailments. They're not diseased to this day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can be
The
wrong.
only thing I'm saying is 90% of what you say is debatable. And I think that the main thing is because of what it's rooted in. It's rooted in the fact that you're comparing a human being to the creator of all things, for one. If there is a creator of all things, for two, as opposed to acknowledging that the nature of the one who decides to nurture her child is there for her to choose. She can choose whether or not she nurtures. She can choose whether or not she provides sustenance. She can choose whether or not she abandons the child. She can choose whether or not she aborts the child. That's all a part of the nature of this being. It's not just the nurturer part. That's a choice or a decision of the woman. Human beings are not just prone or subject to whatever one part of their nature is. That's another thing that sets them apart from the rest of the beings in the animal kingdom. they are able to sit in that seat and make full-blown conscious decisions of whether or not they're going to live this way or that way or the third. So if this is God, all they can be is God. And if God is the nurturer alone, all that woman would be able to do is be the nurturer alone. But she has many decisions of whether or not she wants to nurture or destroy or build or provide sustenance. And even still, the God that you're talking about, if we're going biblically, that same being also destroyed, right? Created things that they didn't want anymore and aborted them through floods. Okay, so again, if we're basing it off of identity politics and religion, no, it's too many holes in it to even say that the statement is true. It's too many holes.
I won't argue that.
Right. So I want to ask by just pushing one button for all the listeners. I just want to know everyone's stance. Do you believe the black woman is God? Put a 1 in the comments. You say no, put a 2 in the comment. If you just don't know, put a 3. 1, 2 for no. I don't know. 3. I just want to see the audience.
All I know is I'll always love my mama because she's my favorite girl.
Okay, our first one. Okay, the votes are coming in. That's not an answer,
Yeah,
Divine.
so we're all here because of the mother. So are the dogs. So are
Right,
the
that was it.
gorillas.
Like,
So are the
right, our
chimpanzees, the cats, the rest of the beasts. They're here because of their mother.
marsupials, and appreciate your honesty, Divine Ether. Some of you are putting in sentences, and all right. So I'm trying to get a unanimous
Synthesis
type of,
wasn't on the
or
menu. It was 1, 2, or 3. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know.
okay, somebody said 1 and 3. You got to make that make sense. 1 and 3.
It sounds like they believe it, but they're just unsure.
So it's their belief, is what they're saying. Okay. Okay. 1. I'm seeing a lot of 1s and 3s. I respect the 3s. Don't see a lot of 2s
I see it
though. What do
too. I see it too.
you see? A 2, but what do you guys say to not seeing a lot of 2s?
I didn't see a lot of 2s. Um,
What do you
I, I
say to
guess
that?
those are new joiners because we've logically established so many points, but that's just my individual perspective. Um, but I'm with you. I respect the 1s and the 3s. My thing is if you drop the 1, drop a 4 if you would like to establish your point.
What do you say, T or Faise, to the lack of 2s?
Which one was 2?
No.
No,
No.
I think it's the environment. I think
I,
people
I say it's.
I, I think
Oh, my
people
bad.
have a natural tendency to want to avoid scrutiny.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. I believe that people don't want to admit that when they're wrong, or that they have been wrong, or that they just don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody put a 4 there. Markel put a 4. Sincere put a 4. Let's go with Markel first.
I got sincere. No, I love my brother, but come on.
So the question is the black
Um,
woman God? Put 1 for yes, put 2 for no, put 3 for I don't know. And if you put a 1, place a 4 so that we could get your explanation as to why you believe the black woman is God.
so now I want T to expound on Phase's point, and that was one of the many points I got. All the things that you said, a cockroach does.
Say it again.
Everything that you attributed to a woman, a cockroach does.
Yeah, because there's a female in every species. A female gorilla, a female cockroach, a female.
But that also technically proves that the woman cannot be God because she needs a
There's
counterpart.
no more. It just stop there. Oh, there's no. That's it, T.
Say, I can't hear you.
Oh, you finished? Were you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
finished? Phase? Is that
Okay, so that means that we're talking about, okay, so scientifically they'll say there's a difference between a woman and a female. We can start there, that they do say there's a difference. If we're talking about the female of all of the different beings who are not human beings, then that still says that these human beings who are the women who are supposed to be God share characteristics with insects, creepy crawlers, bottom feeders. You see what I'm explaining to you? Where are we seeing the explicit part where this is exceptional, that this being is the only being that does this thing? Can you show me one thing that you're saying the melanin dominant woman will be able to do that others may not be able to do?
She, the only thing that the black woman can do that others cannot do is what no other person can recreate themselves with any other race, but she can. You understand? So if you have a white man,
Dr. Delbert Blair was pseudo?
nah, we ain't gonna do that. He was definitely not pseudo.
All right,
Okay.
Definitely
real
not
quick.
pseudo.
You said she can create her.
We'll talk, we're going to talk about that. Oh, a matter of fact, it's my topic tonight. And I'm going to give all y'all the smoke. See, this is what I'm saying. The people.
Most of these niggas was pseudo.
That's what I'm like. Why? I get y'all gain some information from them. I totally respect that. You got to get it from somewhere. I'm glad some people were giving you guys some info, but I can guarantee I'm not a gambling man like I used to be, but I promise I could show you on so many different levels. Not from just the statements and the things that he's saying is pseudo, but even the reference books that he's using are pseudo themselves that are sourced from pseudopigrapher. Like, so, I mean, but I get it. Like I say, there's a lot of these people I learn things from. I learn things from a lot of people. I do. I've learned a lot from some of these people. They're not my they're not my master teachers, so but I still respect them. But you got to call a spade a spade. Some of you just like these teachers because they're telling you things you want to hear. But what about the teacher that's telling you the thing you don't want to hear?
I still want to get
Can
into
any,
that too.
can any of
T.
y'all listen to tell y'all things y'all don't want to hear?
Because who?
No, when we tell people
Or you
things
said
they
that?
don't want to hear, then we become agents that the government put here, which,
That's true.
you know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't understand it. Okay, niggas saying stuff like melanin is condensed sunlight because they don't understand combustion, but they try to make you think they understood combustion. People ran with carbon 12 as if it was the only carbon. They forgot about carbon 13. They forgot about carbon 14. And the closest you would have got to a melanin being condensed sunlight conversation would have been carbon 14. Yet those same people run with 666, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, not knowing that the differing degree is the amount of neutrons. So the moment you say carbon 14, you're no longer dealing with 6 neutrons. You see what I'm explaining to you? So you're not 666. At that point, you're 668. And that doesn't sound the same. Don't sound as deep anymore. 667 doesn't sound as deep anymore. So then you're gonna have to explain how it's not only 666, and then you're gonna have to explain how carbon doesn't come from the sun. It comes from multiple stars that were around in the universe, according to these scientists whose words you're using, before the sun ever even got here for this solar system. So UV rays don't shoot down carbon. What's my point here? But these people get raised up on these pedestals so they know what they're talking about. First of all, if carbon did come from the sunlight because of its interaction with nitrogen in the atmosphere, which is 78% of our atmosphere, then guess what? Carbon and melanin are not the same thing. So if carbon was condensed sunlight, melanin is not carbon. Melanin is a polymer. You know what polymer means? It means simply it's made of many things. It's composed of many. So melanin is not carbon alone. It's carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. There are many things that come together to form melanin. My point is they make these teachers out to be the ones who know what they're talking about, and then everybody goes and repeats it, and then we come and show up and say, excuse me, are y'all using chemistry terms? Yes. Okay. According to chemistry, that's not true. You could teach me something I never heard of by not using not only their words that have definitions, their sciences. Bring me something brand new I ain't never even known. So when we step forth and say that's not new, not only is that not new, it also shows me you like the easy way out, because ain't it harder to learn chemistry than it is to learn alchemy? Let me say that again so it don't go over your head. It's more complicated to learn chemistry than it is to learn alchemy, especially with metaphysics. Because what winds up happening is if I could just say, yeah, I'm on my way to turn myself from lead to gold, then that's just a metaphor. I don't have to know any formulas. I don't have to understand nuclear transmutation. I don't have to get into any of that. All I have to do is say that, and it becomes another Philosopher's Stone saga. And I don't have to know the science.
Statement. I want y'all to respond to this. Mother comes
Hmm?
Mother comes first.
How do they know that? Right now, you have not asexual reproduction, you have bisexual reproduction. Two sexes come together to reproduce. How would you have known in this day and time that the mothers were at one point in time able to reproduce asexually through parthenogenesis? Do you know that, or did somebody tell you that and you like the idea?
I do not.
Science
Most
doesn't teach.
I don't know
people
where
don't
these
even know what
Science,
people are coming with
parthenogenesis
that
is.
from. Good, my fault. Go ahead. Go ahead.
science says the same thing that the Bible says. We came here at the same time. And some of y'all don't understand chromosomes, because the predecessor to chromosomes is
Autosomes.
autosomes, which has nothing to do with sex. So the sex was created by something that was sexless, and they came into existence at the same time. But now y'all don't want to hear that.
Even when y'all
Y'all want to hear
say mitochondrial Eve, this is not,
that.
listen,
Y'all want to hear that.
the reason why I'm showing you how this works is because we know who was close to what circles and listening to what teachings. All of these teachings are surrounding nuggets of the truth. Mitochondrial Eve is hideously misrepresented and mistaught. If there were beings at one point in time that were able to reproduce by themselves, then here's your question. What happened that now you, human beings, must reproduce with one another? What happened?
What made that unsustainable, right?
Because it should still be true. And my thing is, if you're telling me that the black woman is God based on any of these things that you're saying, then you're telling me God failed. That God no longer has the power to reproduce by herself anymore. And you're going to have to explain to me.
And God can be oppressed.
God can be incompetent. God can sin or fall short or transgress.
But we do know that even the God of the Bible also admits that he's not the only God. And so there are many other gods. And he says, you shall have no other God before me. I am a jealous God. So right there, he's letting you know that there are other gods other
Okay,
than.
Was he talking about woman? Because in that Bible, it also said the sons of God look down upon the
Daughters.
daughters of
Oh man, yes, and they found them very beautiful and
And seeing that there's
procreated with
some
them.
gender wars going on, they went there and they cut all the Asherah poles down,
Yeah.
which was a woman.
right.
I'm with Faise on that. I do not believe in parthenogenesis. I have heard it. I have not seen any proof to
It's real humans.
partho.
Animals do it.
They
Parthenogenesis.
procreate with themselves.
Yeah.
Okay,
And snakes
Yeah.
do it.
I'm not. I may not be versed on that. I may not know enough
Snakes,
about that
there
to
are
speak on that.
snakes that reproduce asexually. Go look it up.
There are fish,
A
Okay.
lot of
there are
reptilians.
fish that
Go
do it.
ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, it's there. It's there.
Okay.
Even well, you got it.
Now go ahead.
No, so this the original statement was not as above, so below. That's not the original statement. I need y'all to check your reference again and reference your reference. That's not what the original statement was. As above, so below.
What do you mean?
What do you think? How do you think they removed all the female trees? Are you talking about here in America or in certain parts of America or in cities? I know everybody thinks that's a conspiracy, right? Behind that, but that's not done in the world. It's in specific parts for specific reasons. You know, if you guys want to see a female tree, go in nature. That's typically where they are. You're in civilization being mad at how they're constructing their paradigm, but you don't understand all the workings, so you mystify everything that pertains to the system because you're unaware of its workings. So everything that you don't know becomes spookism or superstition, right?
Yep.
Or there's the mystery Oz man, the man, or them people,
Yep.
or them folk. You know, like we all understand. So we have to demystify the
Everything.
the real.
Everything. Everything
Yeah.
we were taught, we got to reject it. And if anybody is triggered by your rejection of what they teach, that's your cue right there to get the fuck away from them. Anything we were taught, we supposed to challenge it. How am I supposed to know that? What am I supposed to do with that? If you're going to say, we are all Anunnaki gods, and then you say we're native to planet Kai, I'm going to ask you, excuse me, do you not know that the word that you're saying is Kai is in the word Anunnaki? Then why aren't you saying we're Anunnaki gods if you know what you're talking about? Why are you saying Ki here and Kai there? Maybe you don't know the language. Maybe you don't understand what the word is saying. If we're Anunnaki or Anunnaki, then that means we came from Anu and we're children of Anu and we came down to the planet Earth. Is that how you got here, T?
No,
I thought your mother and your father had something to do with you being here.
my mother and father did. Yes, I don't know about the Anunnaki and shit like that. That's not what I prescribe to in any way, shape, or form.
These people who are telling us that we're Anunnaki gods have mothers and fathers who brought them here. They're
And they
not
also have umbilical
Anunnaki
cords.
gods then.
They have umbilical cord.
And belly buttons.
Yep.
There you go. As soon as I see that belly button, you're lying. You're
Yep.
not an extraterrestrial.
I don't prescribe to none of that.
There you go. So challenge and demystify, like Hevy said, every fucking thing. I'm telling you, here go the new wave. So be ready. We had enough of what you thought you knew. We had enough conjecture. And you had time to get it together. Now we want to know what you actually know.
I did a talk the other day about the transsexual rituals and the emasculating of men and the rituals that are one of the things in the ceremony after the castration, after all these things take place. The community has to affirm the new identity,
Yeah.
right? Just like in society, that you say these pronouns, and it's not enough just for them to call themselves that. You have to call it, right? So you're performing a part of the ritual, the culmination, the coronation of the ritual, which is you affirming the
Yeah.
thing, right? So much in our culture we give life to because we affirm it. It didn't exist. It wasn't reality. You affirmed it and you made it that way because you don't know your
Yeah.
abilities. You know, that anything that you affirm now becomes reality. Now becomes reality. Might not make it real. That's a whole nother topic, but it becomes reality. You know, is now the mindset that you've set yourself in. It is now the way that you are capable of receiving or rejecting things, right? It is now the disposition that you have taken on. It is your new nature. Your affirmation helps to create your nature. And many of you keep affirming things and you don't realize what you're affirming. You are playing a part in so many different rituals that you're just unaware of.
Yeah.
You keep saying they. No, you are creating it. You are the fuel. You are the one that's doing it. If you just stopped, it would stop. But you won't because you stand to gain something. You stand to gain validity. And that's what you want. You don't want to serve God. You don't want to live right. You just want validity. You want to be valid like a salad. You want to be able to walk down the street and say, hey, that guy, goddamn it, that's him. That's her.
And it's not that
At
easy.
what cost?
It's not that easy. The people who are the guys of the planet are the ones who have control over the resources. They know the sciences. They know what'll happen if society were to shut down. Those are guys. They'll make it. They'll be able to keep their bloodlines surviving. You getting on TikTok and Instagram or YouTube and making a post saying you're guys, it ain't nothing but comedy to them. I think this is a great day and time because everybody's given the opportunity to reset or regroup. Get yourself back together. Regroup. I know it was fun to play like you knew. All that cosplaying bullshit, I know it was fun. Yeah, but now you have to deal with that other. And what's so interesting is for a long time they attempt to copy certain ones of us, not understanding where we headed. Because now you're in that degree of pull all the layers back of anything taught and see how much you know. And we'll show you how naked you are and how naked you're supposed to be. Let it happen because your rebirth won't happen without you being naked. You were birthed naked. You know what I mean? And don't think I'm here to beat this whole community up. I'm just here to make way for the truth to come through. This is a part of that
Y'all know
science.
my
Go
word.
ahead.
I had a word that I dubbed in the year 2021. It hasn't caught on. I thought it would, but it's a word that I call trans trender. You know, many people are trans trenders. You know, whatever the new thing that's popping, they are on the trend. Some of y'all got a closet full of crystals in a box, ashikis in a box. You know, purple and gold. You know, ISUBK, Blue Israelite stuff in the box. Faise is in a box. You walk through every religion. You are a trans trend, and whatever the next you're gonna be on that. Now you're on the universe wave. You know, everything that you have right now, it is from a progressive standpoint, you are over 70 years behind them spiritually. And I'm going
Them.
to say that.
Let me, so I can get an understanding of who is them
So,
that you are referring to. You
wait, T,
said
come
we're,
on, be
no, no.
real. Be
I just
real.
wanted
Come
to,
on.
so we get a good understanding. Are
Real.
we talking about the powers that be? Are we talking about white people? Are we talking about?
Those that know, the conviction is a tool that works well for for conversion. Hold on, this is not you,
No,
person.
no. I
Hold
know, I
on.
know, I know.
Yeah.
I was just wanted to make sure because a lot of people they're gonna take this and they're gonna try to twist it on us. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give clarity on
That,
shit.
what they choose to do with it, that's not my responsibility. Like the soil with the seeds. You know what I'm saying? Um, but here's the thing: is all they've done is so you went out and you got your crystals, right? You now teach on chakras, right? You want to go buy your mobile home, your Winnebago, and go off and live in nature and do your thing, right? You want to have these big sexual parties, right? You want to have more than one wife and do all these things, right? Hey, you're a modern day hippie. You're a modern day hippie. You want to rebel. This was them. This was their sign of rebellion against the white picket fence dream. This was, go back and study the history. You're not the first to do this. You didn't create this. So when y'all start talking about chakras in the universe, you know, yo, where'd you get that from? Who, who, where'd you get those rocks from? Who gave you those crystals? No, not whose shop you bought them from. Where'd they come from? Trending, guys. You're just trenders. Let's break the mold. Come on, man. You got it, T.
No, I don't disagree with what you said because a lot of people what they're not comfortable in themselves. They don't know who they are. And I'm not talking about Anunnaki or any of that other nonsense. They just don't know who they are and they allow like perfect example, right? This weekend I'm working for Sports Illustrated. I had some conversations with a lot of the models, right? So as I'm giving them massages, all this shit, I asked the girl, I said, what makes you think that you're so beautiful, right? And it's literally, she's telling me, she's like, I don't think I'm beautiful. Everything outside of her keeps telling her she's beautiful. Because she was the most average looking little girl I've ever seen in my life, but she's the cover of the Sports Illustrated magazine. And so a lot of people, she's not following herself. And I said, is this how you, because you really feel uncomfortable? She's like, I'm only doing it because I make a lot of money. And so a lot of people are doing things because it, like you said, it's trendy. And most people are doing this because the lack of understanding who they truly are. You understand? I know who I am. Perfect example. I have turned down offers for homosexual acts to make money in this industry. I have turned down $1 million deals because you can't play with my booty hole. You can't, my soul is not for sale. So I can say genuinely, I know who I am, and it has nothing to do with me coming from the stars. It has nothing to do with the waters and the earth and any. I am solid in my soul. A lot of people are not, and they don't know which direction to go, so they go where the wind blows. You understand? And that's what's happening in this so-called spiritual community. Like when people say, "Oh, what are you?" I'm human. I came from my mama. You understand? I can't tell people all these other things and whatever they want to say. That's on them. That's the way I see it. And you
Okay.
can say I'm lost all you want. I might be lost to you.
Are people afraid to come up with their own culture?
They wouldn't even know what that is because culture has been given to them so much and they don't understand that a culture is a petri dish. And that's what we are here in America. We're a lab experiment growing with no knowledge of what we actually are.
What
What we are is This is how I say, and I'm not going to tell anybody what they are because everybody has their own agreement. The way I see things is we are the physical manifestation of what people call God. We are here to have a human experience and physical experience outside of the totality of what, because like I said, I only speak English. I don't have a better word, so I am using the word God. If there is something that you can show me that's a better word, I'll use that. But that's what I understand it to be. We are the direct correlation of source consciousness, for a lack of a better term, having an individualized experience. And that can be a
Where are you
tree.
getting any of this from?
This is from my observations through meditation. I've gotten this from sitting in nature. I've gotten this from studying, and I see a correlation between things. So I make observations, and this is why I say I'm not nobody's teacher. I have never claimed to be a teacher. I understand things for myself. People then ask me to come up, and I will speak on what they ask me. I will never tell you what I am saying is the absolute for all of you, because that would be wrong.
So are you ready for questions?
Sure, you can give me questions, and if I know it, I'll answer, and if I don't know it, then I won't answer it, or I'll just say I simply don't know.
What is source consciousness?
Source consciousness would be the collective of all of humanity together, right? In the betterment for humanity. It's separated. Mankind does certain things that go against its very own nature. It will tear down the forest and not replenish it. It will poison the water so you can't drink from it, so that you have to buy water. That goes against source consciousness. It's
So
the collective.
can you break down to me the source part of the source consciousness phrase?
Okay. So just like the sun is a source of energy that all things need, right? The source is the totality of mankind. The consciousness, you can call it, people want to say that it comes from the ethers, people want to say it comes from the heavens. That I cannot speak on because that I do not know. Like I said, I am using a word, right, to give you the best of my understanding because I'm limited with this English language. I'm not claiming to tell you that I know all things, but I know source, right, is a word that we can all use to grasp and comprehend an understanding of things.
Only when you talked about the sun did it make sense. When you switched it to humans, it didn't make sense anymore. I can understand how the source can be the sun, as in it yields light. It allows for photosynthesis. It allows for growth. It allows for a lot of things, healing. It allows for
Yes,
heat and warmth and comfort. Okay, that the sun is a
absolutely.
source for all of those things. When you say source consciousness, you're saying all human beings put together are a source for a unified consciousness?
Yes, a unified consciousness.
And
That's
then
when
my
we're in
question would be,
totality. It is separated now.
so
So did 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 the universe exist before the human?
Absolutely. From my understanding, yes, there is the universe. You understand?
That
Say that again.
so so that so then if humanity is what you just said, all of that stuff, how could it be all of that stuff when that stuff was around before
Because
humans?
this is the physical plane to have an individualized experience. Just like the human body, right? It's one human body, but each cell is a representative. Those cells then make up systems. Those systems then make up organs. Those organs then make up you. So the cell would be the individualized experience of the totality of that universe, which is you. You are an individualized cell of the universe, of source. That's the way I see these things.
okay, so you're saying the universe is source.
But yeah, we could say that. Well, see, that's the thing with the semantics of language. You
Hold
understand?
on. It's
Because then
not
people
this
go
this
ahead.
is not the semantics, right? If the universe is source, then the only question will be here: what is the source of the universe?
That is a question I don't know, and from my understanding, I would say it just is, has always been, and always will be. That's the only answer that I could give
If
personally.
you would have stopped at I don't know, that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Because then you start saying what it was.
No, I'm not saying what it was. I'm not telling you that's a totality. I'm telling you that is like, I do not know the source of it. But what I do understand is that it's always been. And could I be wrong? Sure. But I do know that it's always been. And it's always been and always will be. It'll be here after us. It'll be here before us. And it's here during us. Does that
You
not make
don't.
sense?
Yeah. I get that you're repeating what people have said. However, again, you start with I don't know. That's your new journey. Because the moment you start saying what something is, after you already announced to yourself that you don't know, only thing that's left there is conjecture and confusion. That's my point.
So I think you're mishearing me. I am not saying what it is. I said I don't know. And I am saying that from my understanding, the thing that I don't know what it is has always been. That doesn't mean that's the source. That means that it has always been, even before my understanding. After my understanding, which I do not know that source. All I am simply saying is that it has always been. And could I be wrong on that? Yes. Could I be right? Yes.
I got one better for you. Before you decide whether or not you're wrong or right, can you tell me what it means to have always been something?
So yes, okay. What has always been, meaning it has not changed. Now, man, maybe not changed, but it has always existed. That's what I am saying. Has always
How
existed
can something have always existed?
because it is the source. Now, this is what I understand, right? It has always been, always will be.
Okay. Now, remember I asked you about whether or not you're ready for questions. My point of asking that so that we can understand that that's what's happening. I'm questioning what you're saying. And you're
Okay.
answering. I just want to make sure that we get into clear answers because you say you don't know, then you went to an understanding. If you don't know, you don't have an understanding. And then if I
No, no,
ask
no,
you, how can
no. See,
something happen? Go ahead.
What you're doing here is you're not listening to what I am saying. I already told you, the question was, what is source? I said, I don't know. But I said, what I can understand is that it has always been. And I said that I could be wrong on that.
Okay,
That's
so
not giving it a definition.
do
That's
you
telling
understand that
you my limited
that's
understanding.
not what you said?
That's
You
exactly
said,
what I said.
okay, so there's two different things you're saying here. You understand it, right? You're saying you can understand it. And then you said it was your
No, you
understanding
asked me, do
that it.
I know? And I
Mhm.
said, no, I do not know. But I said, what I do understand about the thing, you asked me, what is the source? I don't know what created that source, if something. But from my limited understanding, I have said that it has always been.
Okay,
That's
well then,
not defining it.
that's not showing me how you arrived at an understanding of something you don't even know. You don't even know what it is. How do you have an understanding or an understanding of anything about it if you don't even know if there is an it?
I Okay.
This means you have an
Once again,
idea about something that you. This is why I'm giving you the opportunity to explain it so that you can see where you at really, and then hopefully you'll be able to remove yourself from it, so it won't be able to do what it just did, which has caused more confusion within your own self while you
where
try
is
to
the
explain it.
there is no confusion. The confusion is you keep trying to make me seem like I don't know what I'm talking
You
about.
told me you didn't know, then
No,
proceeded to talk
no,
about
no,
it.
no, no. You asked me a question about source, and I honestly answered the question. Yes. You asked me what created it. We can go back and play, right? We can go back and see because it's being recorded. You asked me, do I know what that is? Right? The answer to that was no. And I simply said, from my limited understanding, and I said I could be wrong. It has always existed from what I grasp. Now, if you were to ask me, how did you come to the conclusion of understanding that something you don't know about, how could it have always existed? Those are two different things. But you're trying to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's not what we're going to do here.
Well, okay, the only thing is you told me you don't know. I told you what it was. I said, that's where you start with me, especially. When you say you don't know, everything that come out after that, I don't know why you're qualifying it as understanding or comprehension. I asked you what was the source for the universe? What yielded the universe? You said, I don't know that answer. You
Yes.
said, but based on my understanding, it's always been, always will be. So here's my thing that I'm saying to you. If you don't even know what it is, anything that comes after that is just conjecture. It may just be ideas. That's why I dig
And
further
I
to say, okay, well, then maybe you can explain to me what always been means. I'm going to give you that opportunity again. What does it mean for something to have always been? Don't just tell me it's always been. That was your answer. No,
yes,
what I'm looking for is what is the definition of or the meaning of something having always been in existence? What does that mean?
it wasn't created. It's
But it's
always
a thing.
been.
But it's a thing.
The universe, the thing that we have just talked about, right? The universe, it has always been.
No, we're talking
From,
about
like
the
I said,
source of the. I
not
got to make sure we
created.
clear. We're not talking about the universe right now. We're talking about the source of the universe.
Can you guys hear me?
Clearly,
Yes.
Yeah, I like to interject. As far as what this man is saying, he's saying that source is creation, infinite, and source consciousness is the unity consciousness of all, not only just human beings, but different beings of different creations, octarians, different councils, the 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 unity consciousness of all creations, because we exist as these beings in different existences. We exist immortal if we want to be, if you tap in, if you meditate, if you go into a certain frequency and divinity into who you are, and you don't personify and make it analytical, because spirituality is an intuitive notion, it's intuition. And I think it's just too much, brainstorming. It's too much. It's a fluidity. It's just existence. To understand something such a source of creation, you have to go within. It's more than personifying it, giving a gender. It has no gender, has no taste. It is the all. It holds all creation of all existence. And that's something that the average mind, if you're just simply going by the mind that we're working with right now, we're not going to understand it. You have to go into a certain flow and just allowing yourself to understand it's infinite, really. It's like when I tell people
okay.
we're immortal.
Can I ask you questions?
Sure.
Okay. Respectfully, I didn't hear you explaining what it is either. I just heard you saying a lot of the words that I hear people in the spiritual community, conscious community use to say basically you don't know what it is either. That's all
I, s- I
I heard.
said
Now
I said what
hold
I
on. Let me just get that
experienced.
part. I'm just getting a piece out. I'm not coming for you. I'm just saying this is my experience with what you just did. Right? Some people may be like, yo, that was deep. Da, 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 da. Now that's why I'm asking you, can I ask you questions to see if you know what you're talking about? Can we do that?
Yeah, I'll get ready to channel as well.
Okay. What is infinity?
Infinity is exactly what you're saying. It's infinite.
Never ending.
Exactly. Never ending. It's infinite. That's the answer of your question.
Okay, so I asked you what infinity was, and you said it's what I'm saying.
It's infinity. What is infinity? It's like someone wants to say, what is water?
There's a whole explanation of what water is, down to the molecular structure.
But what is it? What is it though?
Okay, water is H2O,
And
hydrogen,
what
two
is water?
oxygens.
Yes, but what else is water? Water's magic. Water's intuition. There's spiritual cause that is water, fire. the notion of what is really water, the creation of water. When you get into water outside of the physical form, into the crystalline grid, the water can be crystallized more than H2O. You can speak to water, the consciousness of water. Water is vibration. Water is ether. Water, when you get into different councils in series A, B, and C, you start talking to dolphin beings. Water is not just what the human construct has made water to be H2O. Water can be medicine. There's those who could live without water. So there's more to that question just than to say
But
water.
yeah,
When
you
you're
see how
talking
you went
about
into.
when you're speaking about spirituality, genuinely, there's more to what you're
I
saying.
see where we're going here.
Period.
So
So yes,
what you may not understand
infinity,
is you
infinite
had a,
is there. It's infinite.
you had
Hey,
a
Faith,
lot to say about water.
Faith, Faith, I got you. I want to preface before I even speak or Faith speak or anybody else speak. I love all of you
Love you
guys,
back.
but personally, this is what this is, right? Any pushback will be against your information, not against your character. Doesn't mean I don't dislike you or something. Doesn't mean any of that stuff. I need for us to be mature enough to have certain conversations. Do we
Yes.
all agree?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move forward, guys. Let's go. That's all I
Okay.
need to hear.
Yeah,
All right.
I love you. I love T. I love the sister who came on.
I
Check this out.
appreciate
So
all y'all. Love it. There's nothing but love here.
So you went into
Pushback.
water. You saw what happened? Yet when I asked you what infinity was, you just told me it was infinity. And then your analogy for water, there's a lot of science to support what water is down to the molecular structure. You said water is ether. Can you explain that?
Because water has consciousness of its own. Water can be not only water can be gas, water can be solid, and when you get into the metaphysics of water, water also can be a consciousness grid. Like when you get into star series A, B, and C, when you start talking to Syrian beings and start talking to dolphin beings, you're hitting a different frequency outside of the planetary alignment, this physical plane. That's when you start to understand water as an actual being, an actual consciousness that you can actually speak to. It's just like the same thing with the planet. Planet Earth is a sentient being. Sentient, she can feel. You can touch her. You can hug her. The planet itself is magical, more so than what we see with our two physical eyes. So there's more magic to the planet, the waters in itself.
So
That's really
what is maybe I should ask you what is ether then?
ether is infinite too. It's space, it's consciousness, it's creation. It's
Okay,
the
well I
it's
guess we want to.
also the void of creation as well.
So then we wind up back at infinity. The point that I'm making here is we still have yet to define infinity. What is that?
So, like I said, infinite or infinity, right, is never ending. It does not
Okay.
have an end.
And per what you know or what you understand, okay,
What would you say
how,
it is?
huh?
What would you say
A
infinity is? What would you
word that says
define
we don't
water
know.
as?
Infinity is a word like God or spirit or divine that says we don't really know what this is. To the brother T, how do you measure infinity?
I don't think it's a measurable thing.
So then how do you know what it is?
You can still know what something is and not measure it. You don't have to measure something or personify. I've had near death experiences. That's where how I opened up to a lot of my spiritual cause. It's because I understand things that I can't put into words. They don't even, it's better that if we were what we used to be as humanity to understand ourselves greater than the physical form. When we would be able to just communicate big segments of teachings. We didn't sit down in school, and it wasn't a repetitive. It was just we understood big concepts. So there's ways to understand, to understand and not be able to explain. That's what that certain level of spirituality is. When you just know, it's more of a knowing, not so much, oh, I can't necessarily find it in a book, but I know that I can do this. I know I can do that, and so on.
Okay, to my understanding, knowing comes with the ability to explain.
No, not necessarily. Trust me, there's things that cannot be explained.
Like
It
what?
takes time.
Give me an example.
The fluidity of existence.
The fluidity of existence.
Yes.
Use
Immortality. Things
infinity.
that the fluidity of existence is infinity. Yes.
What
The
is infinity?
immortality, also infinity. Those are things that we are as so-called human beings. We are
So
infinite.
what? So what is infinity?
The very question is the answer.
What? Infinity is what?
I'm
Are
getting
you
the
asking
time
her or the
lapse,
panel?
time lapse continuum. If you want to put it into
Okay. So,
science,
so
it's infinite.
let me,
That's what time lapse time, because there's no time, not really.
okay. Okay. Time. There is time. There are different types of time. You know, some people rely on chronological time. Some people rely on relative time. You know, some people rely on moments to mark time. Some people, so there are different types of time. Time is just a tool. It's a measurement tool. You know, so we know it. We know it exists. You know, as an abstract thing, not as a tangible thing, right? Exist. Also, the thing that I didn't get, I didn't quite understand was that universe is everything, and the universe is all things, and it's infinite. But all the things from our mythos and all the things from science says that that's not true. Heaven and earth shall pass away. Science tells you that there's an end to this universe.
When I s-
You know,
when I get it,
there's so will end up in another universe, in another, you know, or somewhere. Who knows? You know. So, but what I'm saying is, do we have to be the universe? You know, in order to be special? That's my question. And 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 also, it was so it's so much, man. Y'all, listen, man. I'm writing. I don't even know where to begin. I don't. I just wrote because I'm like this. It's a lot for me.
I'm not getting a
I love it. I
definition,
love it. I
if you
don't.
don't mind. I'm not receiving a definition for infinite. And I think we should talk about that a little more because that was a part of the synopsis that the sister came on here and gave to explain more about what T couldn't explain. So I'm paying attention to what everybody's saying. If you're going to use
okay,
words like infinite, all right, then we got to challenge that. What's the difference between actual infinity and potential infinity?
I don't understand that question. I really want
Okay, here's
to get
what.
into the time thing. Time
Huh?
is tangible.
Huh?
So, I want to get into the time thing because that was my last channeling I had on my channel. Time is relative. That's science all day. You could with relativity, with E equals mc squared, we know that energy can't be created or destroyed. That in itself is that's not even getting into quantum science. That's
Well,
just
sis,
talking
the only
about
thing with that is we do know that energy can be destroyed, and we could.
It definitely
Yes. See, that's a thing that
that
people throw around. My bad. Heavy, go ahead. Heavy, you're
and everything that's in theory. Uh, quantum physics is a theorized science field, right? But also, you gave me the theory of relativity. You didn't give me the theorem.
it is quantum is in theory. You have to get into
Yeah, yeah,
quantum and
theory.
certain
I,
what we call woo woo science. certain woo woo science, pseudo science. You got to get into that so you can get into a certain level of mysticism. So you understand time to be relative, because I do what they call past life regressions, and in past life regressions we spend 4 or 5 hours with different patients. Well, I'll say patients because I'm also a nurse. I mean, different clients, and they do see themselves in different past lives, different eras, different this and this and that and the other. Um, when it comes to time is this. It's just existence is fluid. We exist multidimensional, and that's how I'm explaining. It's a matter now. Do you align with that? Do you align with what I'm saying? Because that in many ways is saying what infinity is, that we exist multidimensional. And if you want to get deep, there are those of us that have existed before creation, before this existence,
Okay, can
before
you
the
tell me a little more
now,
about that?
before that.
So
Yeah, when you
There's
say
souls before that, behind the Kabbalah. If you get into the Kabbalah, but the back of
I'm
the
very
tree.
I'm very familiar with
And then there's
Kabbalah and
a
speak
Kabbalah
Hebrew.
before the creation of
but when we
existence.
say
There's
creation, are
infinite.
we talking about the creation of the earth?
Yes.
Creation, like what? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Souls before
This
earth.
Okay.
Humanity,
is the
what
problem.
we're calling
Here's
humanity,
with
we
Philadelphia.
also I'm sorry.
Hold on one
Go
second.
ahead.
I don't want to, because this is where I'm not having a problem, but where I have some contention. Because whenever I hear people argue certain points and things, just like you're bringing up with science, the lack of evidence is is just there. Whenever I hear people tell me that they're gods and that they're Palladians, all of these things, I find them struggling to pay their rent or working and eating and under someone else's laws, and very agitated with the situations that are going on in life. These
No,
types of
I'm a
things
nurse.
that typically
I've
happen.
been a nurse for many years. I can pay my
I
bills and I'm good. And so on.
don't think it's where I pay this. Nothing is personal. I preface everything before that, right? This isn't personal, right? I think that what some people have a problem with is, and I think this is where Faise is having a problem with, is the language is, to be optimistic, aloof, right? It's aloof. It's just not. It's just not able to be grasped in a way that is easily available, as in scholastics, where I could sit down. Here's the book, or here's the person teaching me this, and they can walk me
There
through
is,
it,
I could tell
right?
you several
It
people
takes it.
that have taught me.
Okay, got it. But see, Faze is having a problem with just getting the understanding of infinity.
Well, I just told
So
him
this,
the word infinity, as of right now, for the sake of moving on, is the very question. In infinity is the answer. It's
for
infinite,
the sake of his
and I
understanding,
did
that
give you
isn't
I
beneficial.
gave you examples that time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. That's infinite. So there is no time. It's all perception. Existence is fluid. We exist multidimensional. That's also an example. Immortality, that's also an example. Those are examples of infinite, something that's just continuous. Immortality, continuous. There's no time, continuous. We exist multidimensionally, continuous. So that's all based on perception, a certain level of intuition, meditation, sun gazing and fasting, breatharianism, certain level of spirituality is based on your notion, you going into it and understanding your glory and your connection with that level of
so.
spirituality.
So
People
let
who
me
have
ask you a
taught
question. That
me
doesn't.
has been Dolores Cannon. She's very well known. Marina Jacoby, very well known. Alice Collier, very well known. Oh, I mean, I don't want to sound stupid and ratchet, maybe because they white. Because black people seem that we as black people seem to have a problem with so certain level woo woo. But that's our potential. Gods. We're ancient. You know, I'm Haitian, and that's what we used to do. Voodoo. Today, voodoo is good, and you know, and oh, it's okay to do voodoo. But that's what we use to fight our masters. Voodoo, Shango, stuff like that. Because our lifespan is only 3 years. Slaves only existed for 3 years at a time. To the point where we're like, fuck it, we're gonna do some voodoo in this bitch. We're gonna summon some shit. Voodoo, and they know, and that's why they hate us till this fucking day. They to hate us, to continue to hate us. Humanity to be immortal. That's what we are. Gods. You don't
So
have to believe it. Not
I would
everybody
like
can
to say
hold
this
those
part here.
titles. It's not for everybody.
I would like to say this part here, that when infinity, from what they're saying it is, or what it has been written out to be, it doesn't mean continuous. That's why I ask family, how do you measure it? Because there are mathematical definitions of infinity. There are metaphysical definitions of infinity. There are multiple ways that people define it. All of those definitions say we cannot obtain this thing. So my question to y'all is, if one can tell me, I don't know how to measure, I don't think it can be measured. Somebody else can tell me it's time and space, which is the continuum where there doesn't mean what most people think it means. It means that these things are one and the same. It doesn't mean that it's ongoing. That's not what continuum means. So if I say thought and matter, one might say, oh, thought and matter are indistinguishable. If I say space and time, one might say, oh, there's a space-time continuum. Space and time are indistinguishable. We don't really know how to separate those two. If I'm asking about infinity, I'm asking for what it is based on what you know or what you can know. Yet the word itself, infinity, is saying we cannot know this. We are not capable of even fathoming it. So then my question to y'all would be, if human beings aren't even capable of fathoming the reality of infinity, then why is it being taught? Because what is the human, or who would be the human being that would have been able to grasp it to teach that it exists? Same way when people say the earth is an infinite plane. I say, well, who measured it? Who went and measured the plane and said, this bitch is infinite? Got
That's
to
an
stop accepting
oxymoron.
everything that you're being taught just because it sounds good. It starts sounding exactly like the Christians or the Muslims when you're asking them about their belief system. At the end of the day, they're not able to give you valid points of how this is a real thing that we're dealing with. They have to say what? Well, you either have to be spiritually in tune, or you got to believe, have faith.
Infinity.
None of that has anything to do with what I'm asking. What is infinity? I'm gonna try it one more time. What is it?
You just
This should be
answered
simple.
your belief. You said you believe that it can be measured. So there you go. That's what you
I
believe.
didn't say I don't believe that it can be measured.
So then what's the
The
question?
question is, how do you measure it?
Well, how do you measure it?
I don't know.
Because you believe you can measure something that's infinite. So you
No, I
could tell
don't. I
us.
don't believe. I'm asking a question. You don't have to. You have the right to ask me what I believe. And then once I tell you, what's the problem now? I don't believe in infinity. I don't believe it's a thing. I don't believe that we know what it is to decide whether or not it is. I think that it's just like a lot of the other spirit words or spell words, spirit being one of them. I think it confuses people. Just like people say, when I leave 3D, I'm going into 4D or 5D. What the fuck is that?
Frequency.
Phase, it's a
That
rational. It's a
shit right
it's a
there is a great fucking statement. I'm not
Frequency.
even going.
wait. Okay, it's a rational deduction based off of witnessing mortality and understanding duality, right? So if I see that there are things that die, and I see duality persisting throughout the universe, then potentially there's something that doesn't die, right? So it becomes the philosophical
Oh,
thought, you see. But go
that's
ahead.
my thing. You can have philosophical thoughts, which are beliefs or assertions. People can have them. It's just that when you start telling me that you're going to come in and help this guy talk, and you start bringing up your points, and your points align with pseudoscience or what the spiritual community believes in, and you're talking to someone who is now in that seat to question everybody, then I'm going to bring questions that I'm not saying I know you can't answer them. I'm saying if you can, you have to show me. Other than that, I'm not just showing myself and people watching that you don't know what you're saying. I'm attempting to show you. You don't
There's
know this thing. That
I
way,
can bring you books of people that I read and things that I've taken on,
and
and
I don't
actually
want it.
not only like Bobby Hemmett, Phil
I don't want
Valentine,
it.
Dr. Blair.
I don't want
That's
it.
black. That's
You want
black,
it?
more black. And then
You
when you
want to know
actually
why I
take
don't
on the
want it?
work,
Do you want to know why I don't want that? I don't want more books of people talking
well,
because
I
they
don't
don't know what they're
do
talking
the
about.
books no more.
Huh?
I don't do the books no more. I don't do the books anymore.
So don't bring it to
I
me.
haven't been doing books in 5 years. Now I channel. I'm
Hmm.
always constantly meditating. I'm constantly feeling intuitively. I do regressions. I do sessions. I take it on very seriously because the group of those here on the panel that don't believe, and then there's those that do believe that are hoping to God you guys never do believe what I'm telling you. So it's always that confliction, like, fuck, when are these people gonna realize that we are the God powerful, gods and goddesses, and we're in alignment, however you want to believe it, just know you're way more powerful and immortal than you've been
We
given,
want y'all to
especially
show
a
it.
group of people.
We want y'all to show it. I want people who claim that they go within to bring us new information. I want people who claim to go within
Well, just watch
to
my
bring.
sessions. I can give you a session. A lot of my sessions are so deep, some people are embarrassed to show them because the shit that is in that come out when they speak in third person is really heavy.
Okay,
And
can you give me an
magic can
example of one
be
of those?
scary.
Okay,
Okay,
can
there's
you
a
give me
reason
an
why they killed witches. They weren't no, the priest killed the priestess and the priest and that killed the witches and all that. That's not for just for shits and giggles. That was because these women really genuinely had magic. There was
okay,
genuinely power on earth.
okay.
So when I do show you, if we do show you, you're not to sit back and be scared and tell the priest now.
Well,
Put us in court when if you want to get real deep, the cemetery should go to court because spiritual court, they don't hold those heavy spiritual courts anymore because you should see what they do to the souls that are in the cemetery.
All
That
right.
people like us that do cemetery work have to go and help those cross over. So thank God there are those of us that do see spirits, talk to different
Okay, so
beings in
look, look, look,
different
look, look,
realms.
look, look. Check this out. Check this out. Here's what I'm saying.
Wait, T, jump in.
Here's what I'm
Okay.
saying. If you channel and you go within, we want you to prove it now. If you're gonna channel stuff that
Follow
I can
me.
Google,
Follow me.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
Follow
hold
me. I'll
on.
show you.
I'm talking about right now. Do it now.
Do what now?
Pull
I'm
something.
channeling now, technically.
You then okay? Can you speak a language that's not English?
Kya kroine shkrena ete, yangawe straite, Baphometian troll, galactic siege, Metatron, Zeus is in fruition.
Okay, what did you just?
Straite.
Okay, what did you just say?
That I'm a warrior, yes. Galactic siege is galactic warrior. Baphomet is demonic, whatever you want to call it. A troll is the being, galactic siege troll. Zeus. Zeus is obviously you
That's
should know, is a
not
warrior
new.
too. But that's when I said that, when I get triggered, when I really get triggered with people who do know what I'm talking about, I say that just to remind their consciousness, I'm not just any
I'm
female,
not
I'm a
reminded.
warrior.
I'm not
So
reminded.
then
I'm not one of the
to
reminded
know,
ones.
see,
then.
Okay, I'm asking you to channel. Excuse me. I'm asking you to channel a language that we
I
haven't
just
heard, and
did.
to tell me
A
what it
light,
means.
that was my light language.
Okay, channel it and tell me what it means.
They
Give me a word.
said they don't want to entertain you
Who said that?
because they know you, my consciousness, my higher self.
Man,
But
tell your conscience get the fuck on.
because I like being in
all right.
these lives, I will strike your kroinish
Yeah, I'm sure.
kredeinaite.
Okay, so give me the first word you
Estreinaite
said.
yangai we
What the first words
strike.
you just said? What does it mean? And spell it.
Strike
Okay, spell it.
kreinaite.
Spell it.
I would have to sit down and try to spell it.
Okay, can you sit down? Are you in a place where you can have a seat?
I am sitting. I'd have to get a pen.
I have a pen.
I have my channel. You can go on my channel.
No, be it right
All
here.
right.
Be it right
That's
This
here,
that's
especially
messed.
when you
What
started
do you call
speaking
it?
the
this
It's
is
N-word.
messed up because
okay.
I'm gonna be racist because in the white community,
Why
that's why
you
there's
gonna
never
go to race?
problems.
You can channel
I
information
just did.
multidimensionally. You shouldn't even
Yes.
be worried about race.
I am worried about race because I've been on this with people of color, and there's always an issue. But once I get around people of non-color, they feel it, they know it. They'll tell me if they're jealous, even, and then we'll tap into why, and we like as though it'll be an evolving
Okay, I
situation.
understand. So you don't
So
think it's
the thing
you
is
don't
here
think
that
it's evolution
we're not
subject to
realizing
creation?
is that we all want to call the bullshit in certain communities, right? That, that's what is going on. And sometimes there is a lot of things that people will make up and call it a channel, call it a I talk to such and such spirit. And with you have to remember that a lot of people base their understanding off of science. They need to something has to be tangible. And so if it can't be tangible, then it's irrelevant no matter how much explaining you do, no
Well,
matter how much
follow.
it
I have.
doesn't matter
Okay.
because you got to remember your
It's
audience,
about
priest.
you doing it then. When I if as long as it's
But
not
see, the thing is,
something in
sis,
crucial.
let me just show you something real quick because you just did, but it's not proof. Does
Well, let
that
me
make
give you an
sense?
example. Let me give you an example. For instance, my mentor, my spiritual mentor, yes, she's not black. It don't matter. It's not a race thing. I was intuitively called. I learned to channel through her teachings. I learned how to do past life regression through her, who she learned also from Dolores Cannon. So that means you gotta take it on. As long as not telling you to hurt yourself, you take on the disciplines. A lot of it is good disciplines: meditation, hydration, sun gazing, taking time to channel within self. You can have the same exact gifts.
So you
You
were
do
given
exactly
the
what the
opportunity.
mentors tell you. You could do the same exact thing. Do as I and greater.
Okay, that's what I'm
Do and
saying.
that's what tangibility for spirituality
First
is,
of all,
practicing
can
it
you name
yourself.
one thing that isn't tangible?
As far as what?
Right. And
Anything.
I'm talking to T now too.
Air.
Can you tell me one thing that isn't tangible?
Air, you can't touch it.
Tangible doesn't mean you can touch it.
So what is the definition of tangible so I understand?
Tangible
Maybe I don't understand the
means
definition.
it exists within the realm of physicality.
Well, if that's the case, technically everything exists.
Okay. So
It's
then
just a
what is he
matter of,
saying when he said I
because
need something tangible?
if we're talking esoterically, everything exists. It's a matter of, can you see it? Is it in your vibration?
And seeing
Is it-
isn't the limitation of human beings'
Yeah,
observation.
seeing isn't, I mean, seeing isn't the cause of existence. Just because you don't see it,
So
I see it.
watch
Just like
this.
this
Let
very
me ask you a
moment.
real question. Do you feel that I overstepped by asking you to clarify the information or the language you were channeling? Do you feel like I overstepped or needed something tangible to ask you more about what you were providing?
Well, I feel that you needed proof because that's what you say. You said you needed proof. So I gave you
When did I say I
the
needed proof?
channeling that I said. That's what you said. Can you prove to me that all this spiritual stuff is happening? And I said, then you said, can you speak a language
There you go.
outside of English?
There you
So
go.
I said yes. Then I started channeling. I've been doing it for 5 years now, so it
And
just comes
okay,
through.
so then when
I
I
can
asked
even,
you to spell it, why did you tell me you needed to sit down? And then I said,
because
okay,
I
can
don't
you
know
get
how to spell it. It's the speaking light language
It's,
in itself. You have to be. It's not even something you necessarily teach. That's more of something you can guide someone to, because light language is
so
energy flowing
okay,
through the
so then
body.
maybe this could help. Maybe you don't know how to spell that first word you used. Can you tell me what that word is and what it means?
Well, I don't know
it
what I
sounded.
said.
It
I would have to
sounded.
say it again. I don't know
You
what I
don't know
said.
what you said?
Your teacher is your
No, I don't. I would have to
or
say
is
it
she?
again.
Okay, can you say it again?
No, I'm asking.
I'm sorry. What did you
Is your
say, sir?
teacher is your teacher Germanic or from any Norse
No,
culture? Nordic.
she's Hispanic. But
She's Hispanic.
her teacher is Dolores. You can look her up. You can look them up. Dolores Cannon, she's very well
No.
known. She speaks of Yeshua.
What is this like? What is her roots? Is she of Germanic descent?
My mentor, she's
Yeah.
Hispanic, so I don't know. She could be anything if it's
No, but you said
Hispanic.
she.
She was my mentor. She isn't anymore. She's technically shouldn't be called a mentor anymore. Technically, want to get deep.
Okay, who is the Lord King?
Dolores Cannon is a Caucasian
That's
lady that's
what I'm
our
asking
lady
about.
that she taught all of us really.
Okay,
She's
what is
white.
her?
Yeah,
What is
she's Dolores
not
Cannon.
white? No, not white. We're not.
I
We're
don't know.
not
I
on the
don't
black.
know
We're spirit.
her race. I don't know because that if you want to get deep, we don't get
Back.
into race like that because we understand that in
No, but
past lives
no.
we were black,
But
we were
you're talking
white, we were
a lot.
Chinese.
The spirit's talking too much. Hold on, the spirit's talking too much. No one up here brought up race. You're the only one that's been emphasizing black and white, and my
No,
teacher's white.
my teacher's
I don't do
Hispanic.
this
She's
black.
Hispanic.
And I just asked. But okay, but I'm asking, and I asked a simple question, and I just can't get the answer. Dolores, who is your teacher,
She's not my
Dolores
direct
Cannon,
teacher, no.
Her teacher was
can
taught
you
by that
channel her?
woman.
Wait, can you channel her and ask her what is her nationality and her at like is she German? Is she from Nordic culture? What can answer that? Because the reason why I'm asking you because you're saying a word that I'm very familiar with from a particular language. But I wanted to but Faze was asking you to interpret something and the other
She
words were
didn't teach
obviously
me. But I woke up to her teachings about healing and that the human body should never be sick and why we're always sick as human beings and that energy affects our bodies and because I'm a nurse, I love healing, not nursing. I hate nursing. I hate the medical field. I hate everything to do with it. And I just hate that no one understands even the basics of taking care of their bodies, let alone spirituality. But just take care of yourself, eat healthy, and stop giving the money to the doctors and the nurses, and stop making insurance high and causing yourself to be a liability. For those who are watching this, just eat
What was the
healthy. It's not
word?
that hard.
What was the word you said? You started off a phrase, right?
Okay.
You started speaking
Akroinish
whatever
kres,
language you were
arайте
speaking.
kyo kroi strei ke krajnaish
Okay,
krojnaiti,
stop,
yanga
stop.
we
Okay, okay.
straiti.
After that, you just said it, so it should be
I
fresh
don't
on the
know what
mind.
that is. That's a channeling. That's my spirit. So careful.
But I know I got to be careful, right? But you might want to pay attention because if your spirit is on point, I shouldn't even need to be careful right now. You should be thorough right
Ja
now.
kroinish krei
Okay,
strain yo
what was that first word? What was
kroinaiti, yanga we
cathronis? What was that?
straiti.
What was cathronis? What does that mean?
Ja kroinish
Uh,
kroi strainaiti, yanga we
What does it
straiti.
mean? What was that first word you said? What
Yanga
does it mean?
we straiti is my name in the spiritual realm. Yanga we is an ancient god.
You just
Yangaway.
calling out stuff.
I usually come in masculine. Yangaway, straiti. Yangaway.
That's not a
Baphomet troll,
family.
galactic
I don't know who
seeds.
told you,
I don't know
but
what you're
that's not a
talking
light
about, but
language.
it's
And
what it is for
Zeus
me. This
would not be a
is
light language word.
stroinish kroi strainaete Yangaway
All right, how you spell
straiti.
Yangaway?
Baphomet
How you
troll,
spell
cry
Yangaway?
trainish
How you spell
kroi
that?
uh,
How you spell Yangaway?
Estrena kroi
How do you
strainaete.
spell it?
Give me a second. You're being disrespectful.
Okay, and you're not being disrespectful to the spirit.
Because I'm
You're
channeling.
not channeling. We
Estrena
know the difference.
estrena
You,
ete.
uh,
they only give you you're limited to
Estrena
one
estrekia
sentence.
estrena
Are you
ete.
wait,
limited to one
channel,
Yano
sentence?
roitina rto
Are you limited
estrekia
to one sentence?
can
You
you
only get
channel?
one?
ete. Yano troite kia kraina
Okay.
iti streno
What does it mean?
kroiti.
What does it mean?
Miaroi tia traini
What
shkru
does it mean?
strekia kroinaiti.
What does it mean?
Maroi te streinaiti
Whenever you're ready
angawe.
to explain the meaning,
Inarto
everybody
strekia
can channel. What
kroinaiti.
does it mean?
Yarte naiti.
What does it mean?
Itrunu shtukrus
What does
tu
it mean?
rutini titi. Niaru
What does it
kuri.
mean?
Ti ini
What does
turu
it
street.
mean?
Ini shtukru
What does it
taiti.
mean? It sounds like when I go to church and they speak in tongues.
so,
And I love that they can speak in tongues. I love
sis,
that it's spiritual.
this is not the
Now I want you to
place for
translate that tongue.
stuff like that because certain things are not going to be able to be received.
I know,
You understand?
but he
Listen,
triggered my
So
family. Listen,
spirit, and
it
he
might
doesn't
be
get
other
it.
level to
He
y'all,
no,
thinks
but being raised
no,
up
it's
in
not.
strange.
certain
I'm not even.
things,
This is no
It's
disrespect to you, Faze, in
we
any way, shape, or
know
form.
the
it's strange.
difference.
Yeah,
And
and what I'm
Struite
you might
saying
not
yanga
have
is
a stellar memory
strite.
of one of the lines they gave us,
Yarto
but that's not an
inte
adder. That
strainaite
ain't
yanga
not
we
one a single
strite.
tone that's gonna be able to. You
Ya
can't pierce any armor with that.
struinaite.
You're not an
Okroini
adder.
I
And then we
strainaite.
could tell based off of the fact
Inai
that now you're trying to switch your
strainaite
turn
nya
into curse,
struisti.
as opposed
Tinia
to just
fruiti
explaining profoundly
naite.
what the Spirit is saying to you. This is the same
Istrunest.
thing that
I
happened when they
am the
told people they were
spirit.
speaking in
I
tongues
am
with the
that
book of
I am.
Corinthians.
I
They said,
am
I'm
I
that
not
I
going to have you
am.
well,
clueless about these
I
gifts.
am that I
Some of y'all will
am.
have the ability to speak in
I
tongues. The
am that
only
I
thing was
am.
when those people
I
spoke
am
in
the
tongues,
spirit.
they were able to
I am the
explain what it meant.
Delphi
Y'all trying to be
priestess, galactic
Pentecostal and it's
siege,
supposed to be deep.
Metatron. Zeus is in fruition.
listen.
She
Nyaproinaiti,
went
yangawe
Greek, bro. She went
striati.
Zeus. What do I need to receive?
Because you guys don't
No,
know that
She
I'm not.
called from
ancient
like
I
all these
understand
Egyptian.
what
different
you're
cultures
saying.
to
Look,
say a
listen,
statement.
Faze, you're coming from a scientific standpoint. You need concrete
What
evidence.
she's doing is a scientific thing, but she doesn't know what she's doing.
I'm not going to speak on
You
that
can't.
because
You
she.
can't.
No, I'm
Because
not.
what did she say?
I don't know
So what the fuck
I,
personally.
you talking
I,
about,
I
T?
have to get
All
off because I'm
right,
So,
well,
activated
have a
for
good
no
day.
so no,
reason.
Have a
hold
good
Thank
on.
day.
you. Bye.
Now, hold on, because she is valuable.
They
You're
However,
valuable also.
they won't respect me, but
No,
if
you'll be
I hope
respected. You just
they don't
don't try to
ever
come
get
play my life.
mad when they
Wait,
understand the
what I'm
truth.
saying.
Test
Okay.
See,
every
I
spirit
preface
with the
this
spirit.
whole talk. No, no, time out. I preface this
yep,
whole
Hmm.
talk, this
And
whole
said it
talk,
was all love.
before
It's
y'all got
still
into it.
love.
of course. When nobody's arguing, there's no disrespect. Well, some people see there's disrespect. Um,
I'm
That's
gonna get
not.
off. I'm
You
gonna get
can be
off
challenged. Just I don't mind people like speaking
because we're
different
all
languages and
activated.
speaking in tongues, stuff like that. It's the same. I did the same thing with the Christians. Once you start
yes.
doing that, and I ask you what you're saying, and you can't
Because
explain what
I'm
you're
talking
saying,
to your soul. That means you're not connected to your heart,
that's the
your
same thing the
soul.
Christians say.
Well, then if the Christians are telling you and the pseudo woo woo is telling you the same thing, honey boo boo, maybe you need to connect to it.
Except
Connect to your
tongues
soul,
Listen,
my
means
friend.
I
languages.
feel what she's saying. I feel
Yes,
like
you're supposed to
so
feel it.
I can't translate what she's
You're
saying,
supposed
but
to
I
feel
understand
it.
that she's very. And when I say that, she's very passionate. She's true to herself. That doesn't mean that she's wrong. Doesn't mean that she's right. She's and I'm not saying how it helps. I'm not saying it does help. I'm not saying it doesn't help. What I'm saying is for now phase, right? It's irrelevant because it's not tangible. You can't prove what you're speaking on. And some things are not provable. So therefore like it's irrelevant for some people. So this is where we have to know, like sis, you see how you're bound, you have to know where shit is usable and where shit is not usable.
Words are provable.
So
If I
that,
say a word
that like
and
if
I
you
get
hear
you to
me,
say
sis,
the
you
same
understand what I'm
I
word,
don't
saying.
want to say the masculine, but it seems you're sitting in your masculine perspective only because you have to use
she ain't coming
measurement.
from them sciences. The ancient Egyptians
Hey
were the
yo,
first ones to put.
hold on, Shannon Cherie, whatever her dumbass name is, she is very rude and disrespectful. No one has been rude to you. No one has been disrespectful. This is the fourth time you have now called this lady out of her name. We don't operate like that. Faze and I have had many disagreements. We have never disrespected each other. Faze and I have had multiple times where we do agree. Even Heavy and I have argued with each other, and we still do not disrespect. This will not be tolerated. So you can either respectfully shut the up or get the out because we do not tolerate disrespect. Exactly. So
I'm
yeah, we need to buy her the fuck up out of here because now she just out of pocket. We can all sit there
what
and have,
happened?
I
I
don't
don't know.
know,
I didn't
but she's
see
been
it.
very rude, very disrespectful, cussed this girl out several times, called her a female dog several times. We do not tolerate that. If someone is disrespectful to you, then yes, you can be disrespectful right back. This woman has not been disrespectful at all. And I don't care if you don't like her. I don't care if you fucking think she's a liar. You will not disrespect her. Period.
What's her name?
She right there. She
Sean
just told me
something.
fuck you.
Wait, she
Shannon
just said
or
it to you now?
Shauna Cherie. Shanascherie. Shauna Cherie.
Hold on, I'm going up. I don't see her yet. I don't
I
see
don't
her yet. I don't see her yet.
respect
Don't
it.
see her
That's
yet.
fine. You don't have to respect it, but you must show respect. All right. Listen, my
Wait,
client, my bad. My client just came in, so I gotta.
Wait, she commented right now.
All right.
Said that? I
I'm
don't see
out.
that.
It's a lot of different. It's a lot of
Bye.
different. But my
Thank
client
you.
just came in. Unfortunately, I'm at work. I would love to continue building with y'all.
I gotta remove you, Shauna Cherie. I don't know what's going on, but everybody's confirming it. Sorry, you gotta miss this live.
So I'm not going nowhere. We can easily just leave you out, but it's all good. I actually have to return. I'll be back in 2 hours is my next break. If y'all still up here, I'm coming back to build with y'all.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay,
Yep,
I
yep,
got it.
yep. Peace.
Yeah. Okay, so I preference these conversations. Everybody don't have the fortitude to even have these conversations because they can't deal with, they can't handle thorough investigation or questioning. I sat back, I listened, love the sis, don't know anything personal about her, but we all saw what we witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
We all saw it. We all saw it. And some things I'm not going to even go into because I don't want to make it appear to be like a personal
Yep,
attack, because I promise this is not a personal
yep.
thing. But what good is it for me for someone to try to give me information and I don't get the knowledge or the understanding? This was the same question that Paul asked the church of Corinth when it even pertained to tongues. That if I don't get the understanding, then what does it mean? And my problem is that so many of us, we're these intergalactic beings and all of these things, but basic rationale
Basic.
just
Basic.
it just evades us. It just evades us. And for those who don't know me, hi, I'm Heavy Maahes. Um, there are certain things I don't do, certain things I allow, but I don't do. Um, I don't lie to my people when it pertains to spiritual matters. I think that is very disgusting. That's not what we need in the place that we are. Um, and I know how to separate belief from reality. I understand that belief is needed to accept truth, right? I understand that. That's what belief means. It's the acceptance of truth. Once I accept it, now I have to understand it, right? Now I have to understand it. See, that's a different level. See, understanding is something everybody claims to have. But when you talk to them, they're just giving you knowledge of something. No, I need the understanding.
A lot of
I gotta
y'all
read
have.
this. No, you gotta get the book. No. I want the understanding. No, but this dude said this and this, and oh, did you hear the knowledge of this? Da, 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 da. No, I want the understanding. If you got it, then I have it. If you don't have it, let me know you don't have it.
And my T-shirt is I'm not buying it. I don't buy it. Why? Not because I'm some skeptic walking around here blind. I've seen the real deal. I grew up around the real deal of all of the things y'all are talking about. So when somebody get to saying they can channel, now you're no longer just talking about you have ideas about infinity and whether or not there's a continu. You're being disrespectful to spirit because it should not come back void. And then when you're given an opportunity to stand on it, you should. How many people seen people come up here on my lives, right? Or come up on my lives? They'll say stuff like, God told me about you already. Remember that? Y'all experienced that. Yeah, God, I got a word from God about you. I said, oh, what? I stopped everything I was doing. I said, so you're telling me the Most High, the creator of all things, came to you about one of his? And she was like, I didn't say you were one of his. I said, I put that on your paper for you. I did that one for you. I said, now that you're now in my arena, tell me what the Spirit has said to you. Tell me what God said. You want to know what she said? She said, well, this is just what I'm thinking. These are my thoughts of you. Y'all really get wooed by a motherfucker being able to roll their tongue on the same phrase 19 times? Yet they don't understand it. You keep repeating that same phrase, and you haven't said what the shit means yet. And then, if you just remember some shit to repeat, that's not channeling. Is anybody confused? Did she channel the word Zeus? That's a channeling. Did she channel that there was some old guy named Young something, Young Way? That's a channeling? No. If you're channeling something, first of all, we have to understand what language is being channeled in. That needs to be clear, because spirit wouldn't be clueless to the fact that you have to convey or convey a message to someone who speaks languages in the earth plane. This was what they called speaking in tongues, multilingual people. So the spirit or the messenger that may be tapping into your mainframe ain't gonna send you no message that can't nobody the fuck understand, including yourself. Because what's the point of them giving you that message? Or you have to be in tune to know what it means. Well, if you could tell me that as a translation to the experience, you should be able to translate the words that are associated with the experience. It's not that hard, or it can't be explained. Well, tell them they need to pick another message.
We just
Multilingual. Don't get caught
listen.
up in it, y'all. Those, my bad, Heavy. Those who were in the church that received them speaking in tongues, listen, ain't no telling what them people had on their mind, what they were actually thinking while they saying that shit. They could be saying shubba dubba 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 dee, and they could be thinking about what they finna eat later. But you just caught up in the atmosphere, in the spirit of rolling the tongues. Anybody can do that. I was raised rolling my tongue. Make them stand on what they claim. Go ahead.
Say tie my bow tie real fast. And you're speaking in tongues.
Watermelons. If you say watermelons and marshmallows quick enough, you'll be speaking in tongues.
Tie my bow tie.
Okay. Exactly. I used to think they were saying not by a long shot. I ain't gonna hold you. When I was younger, when I said not by a long shot, what do you mean by that by a long shot? My point is that ain't no channeling, because all they were doing was trying to mimic the Arabic language or the Hebrew language, because some of those people around those times spoke those tongues. The word for tongue is lingua, which is where you get language. Go look it up. So their lingua, or tongue wasn't about how they could roll it, because not every language consists of a rolled tongue or a guttural sound, or it's different sounds for different languages. This was the spectacle. When they observed it, according to the story, they said, yo, when these niggas spoke, everybody could understand what they were saying, meaning they speak Spanish for the Hispanic people, they speak English for the or Anglo-Saxon people, they speak African languages for the African, or Russian for the people over in Russia, and it's like, we can all understand what they're saying. Now, you're going to tell me this person was channeling the spirit, and they only challenge with giving one person speaking English the definition or the meaning of what they're saying. They can't say it. And now my problem is I'm looking for tangible things. No, I'm just looking for definitions of the things you're saying are words that are coming from, not words that are given to you by books and teachers. They're words that are supposed to be coming from the ethers. So far, everybody who has claimed to be a channeler has failed the channel test. Somebody got on here and said they could channel information, that they were going to channel the information for nitrogen. I said, okay, I got time. I want to see this. They said, I can't do it right now because all these lights is on here. It don't work like that. Like the lady said, I got to sit down. You're not a channeler. What do you mean I sit down? Okay, how about this? Take some time. Can you get somewhere where you can have a seat? What'd she say? Well, I'm sitting down. You didn't have to even tell me that. If I were you, I would have made it up at this point. I can't sit down. I'm actually working on a construction site at this moment. Yo, I would have did anything So wiggle out of the lie I just told. But you see what I'm saying? You said you had to sit down. Now you're sitting down, and then I'm asking you, what is the meaning of this thing that you're telling me? And how do you end with Zeus and troll? And the fuck are y'all talking about?
And
You
Anunnaki
just saying a
and
bunch of shit. I
you
can do
know.
that. Watch. Neteru, Elohim, Agdo, Innar. I said, nigga, what the fuck? Yeah,
I
nigga,
want
that's channeling. Yeah, Rahubat,
I want to
Wagyu.
speak to y'all.
Greetings, nigga, bye. Good morning. What?
I want to speak to
Let's
y'all
do it.
heart real quick. I want to speak to y'all heart. Everybody speak to y'all mind.
And
Y'all
Baphomet.
logic.
Yeah, my bad,
I
Hevy. Go
speak
ahead.
to right. I want to speak to y'all heart real quick. You're special. You don't need a book to tell you. You don't need a religion to tell you. You don't need me to tell you. You're special. Now, in the world, you might not feel that way. But when you get a chance, I want you to look up the etymology of that word world. God, God never created a world. God never created a world. Go to the etymology of the word when you get a chance. World is something man made. Heaven and earth is something God made. World is a construct. And people will create constructs to where you just might not fit in, or you just might not feel you belong. Or they have set up their construct to where you are beneath and they're above. But I want to speak to your heart. You're special. And before they conspired against you, there was something that conspired for you. Not just your physical ancestors, but everything you're comprised of. Air, fire, the elements, nature. They all conspired. And they said, who shall we send? Who shall we send to hold this gift? What should this vessel be made of? Earth said me. Water said me. Star said me. Space said me. Everyone was so eager to hold it that they all conspired to build the vessel. See, this is a story from your ancestors. You weren't taught. So the thing that you possess, don't limit it to just what you see. That was the conspiracy. Were the conspirators. It was the gift that they wanted you to house. That's the real jewel. And if you limit this phenomenon to just a star, to just a tree, to just breath, spirit's breath, you limit it to just those things, you've done yourself a disservice and not understanding why you're special. Build your own world. Hell, make your own universe. You got it, Faise.
I just want to say, did y'all hear this lady say, they told me don't, they told me don't talk to you. And then proceeded to talk to me.
Slice, dice.
Slice and dice, thrice. You didn't hear her.
Yeah.
She said slice and dice thrice. I said, what the fuck is this?
Wait, did
Cut
she
you
say cut you three
3 times,
times?
thrice. Listen, her spirit guy said, don't talk to this nigga. They tried to help her. I said, don't talk to her, don't do it. What she kept doing? She kept slice, thrice, thrice, slice and dice, thrice. I said, she sound German in the mother. Does she do sound German too? I'm like, I saw where Hevy was going with that. I said, she nine. I'm like, and then said Baphomet. I ended up in Greece. Zeus. Where the fuck them niggas come from? troll. The hell? Now I'm in Egypt. Sex. What the fuck? How about this? How about next time listen to them? Because if your spirit guy said don't talk to me, why you open your mouth and run your mouth? That was disrespectful. Stop believing people. Test every spirit. That don't mean you gotta just go up to churches and just challenge motherfuckers. What I'm saying is when people
Yes,
cross pathways with you, be ready to be like,
time out.
prove it. That don't mean that everything can be proved. But watch people's spirits. So what y'all didn't understand is that her whole energy started, or her atmosphere emotionally started to go towards defense. And then she went on offense with when she kept just saying it over and over again. That's showing desperation. Because the ones who got it like that, if you disrespected that spirit, they ain't even gonna say shit else. They gonna say, if anything, they're gonna tell you, you may want to be cautious of what you're doing. But they ain't gonna keep trying to talk to you, say the same word, get you to hear it, explain it. If they tell you back up off what you own, and you don't, that's on you. I know them.
Let me ask you a question, Faze, because this
Let's
one
do it.
gets me. I haven't done search
Let's
completely
do it.
on it, so yeah, I don't. But I've already kind of know where I stand on. What does everybody get to talk about light language?
You said what?
What does everybody get to talk about light language? Whose community is responsible for this?
You just want to be truthful? It's them white
Yeah,
folks. It's them hillbilly. It was the people who got their hands on crystals and transcendental meditation and the angel phenomenon, the extraterrestrial UFO phenomenon. It's them. Those are the ones who, no disrespect, Caucasians, they didn't have the connection to anything they were talking about, but they wanted it. So all of those ascended master talks, all of that came from that side of it, and then it became mainstream, and then you started hearing about channelers. The channelers in Western Hemisphere were the white folks who was making YouTube videos talking about Arcturians, Pleiadians, and all that stuff, and they never talked about the melanin dominant extraterrestrial races of people, which is why they loved to talk about the Greys and everybody else. The moment you start talking about people that look like us, they don't want to talk about it. But if you talk about people that look like them, like the Pleiadians or Pleiadians and the Aldebaran, then they want to talk about it. So the simple answer, it came from the white folks. That particular phrase, light language, came from those people who were becoming infatuated with tarot readings and potential contact with CE5s, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, with extraterrestrial races of people who were going out there on them hiatuses out there in Nevada, waiting to see whether or not Graves is going to pick them up and all that. That's that group of people. No disrespect to them. The griots had different roles. The shamans had different roles, and these people spoke, and it was evident that they were speaking to something that was outside of them. Sometimes their bodies would contort, and all kind of stuff would happen when you were observing, according to what I was raised on. The actual channelers. If a nigga can get on here and hold the phone to muscle shove it up, you're not dealing with one. There's a lot that went into it. So light language is basically coming from the white folks who found spirituality and was like, let's do with spirituality what we basically do with everything. Let's just make it us. So they could resonate with it. And that's the spirituality
yeah,
y'all are
I
doing
knew.
now. The Gaia channel, all of that is a remixed version of what was supposed to be activated consciousness. And y'all let these Caucasoids lead you into something that they could understand so they could be a part of it.
But you have to remember even why they went to this system in the first place. Y'all don't
Why so?
understand why. Y'all forget why they even began this trek. You know, they felt that their ancestors lied to them. See, their whole journey starts there. My ancestors lied to me. We've never had that. So how did we end up in the same place? But you didn't end up in the same place at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. You ended up in a place 60 years later. 60 years later. You just getting the crystals. You just bought auntie crystals that died. You know what I'm saying? And she bought them in the 70s and sold them to somebody, and you got them now. It's the same. It's the same thing. You guys are modern day hippies. Y'all want to go off into the woods and live like that. Okay, tell me one prosperous African nation that does life that way. Give me the prosperous African civilization that said, fuck it, we just want to go live in the woods and eat papaya and play with crystals. We've always been a people of
There you go.
science. We never separated science from religion or spirituality.
It was a part of it.
Every ritual we had was describing, you can call it a scientific method if you want. Every ritual was a scientific method. It described a phenomenon that was taking place in the cosmos and nature. That's it. So when you try to separate the two, um, and remember, we weren't the ones who brought about this separation. You know, this was something in Europe well before even there was in America. You know, they when the king and the pope would fight for power. You know what I mean? So this goes back to that, but it goes back before then. You know, and this is what the order of Melchizedek really is all about. That most people don't understand. The order of Melchizedek was during a time when the priest was the king, when righteousness could be upheld, right? But morality for politics and things like that could be based off of that spirituality. So, but a lot of people miss that, you know, and that is what we should look for, you know, a particular order in a particular way. But there's so much we got to work on. And one of the main things we have to work on as a people is admitting when you don't know, admitting when you've taken on information that that you don't want to have challenged, or that you're, regardless of if truth has come to you, you're going to hold on to it regardless, right? Because this is it's becoming to our own detriment. We're not in a place where we can blame a people because of their skin tone anymore. We can't do that. We can't do that so much that they set it up systematically to where even if you tried to do that, it doesn't even legally it don't pan out. You can't even prove it
Right.
like that the way you want to prove it. So that don't even work. But if we're gonna be a people, like, I just challenge, okay, I'm not speaking to certain people, but to all my gods and nine ether beings. Yo, when y'all gonna start beating up some people, like spiritually? Like when y'all gonna start dismantling these people from the spirit realm and it manifesting itself in this realm? Because y'all have this connection that we don't have, and this knowledge that we don't have of these other spaces and gods that y'all communicate with. Where these niggas at? Y'all channel that for me real quick and let me know. And why y'all paying rent? And why you going to work? Because you guys are these beings that are so above all this stuff, and you are the gods and all of this. Well, we just want to ask you for something simple. Just get us a little piece of land that our people can grow on. Like, about half the size of America, you know, preferably. Are y'all taking orders, or what? Can we send a request? How can we get a request in? Do we email it? Who do we CC? Whose Instagram we got to follow? I'm just trying to see, how do we get in touch with y'all ethereal side, with y'all God side, with the one that's doing all these things that we're just not privy to seeing, but we can't, we're too logical to put faith in it. But if you can do it, we're just asking you to do it. And if you don't do it, how selfish of you. How selfish you would allow your people to be going through all this and not put some money in their bank accounts or give them what they've been asking for all this time. And you are these beings that possess so much knowledge and wisdom and power. And talk to me, guys. Break it down. Just break it down for me. Just break it down for me so I can understand it. Because some of y'all just on a different level. I respect it. I totally respect it. I ain't even gotta you ain't even gotta bring me up to that level. It's too high for me. I can't attain to it. Just help lowly old folks like us out that's down here. We don't mind. We don't mind the handout. Hell, half of our people are already asking for handouts. So y'all do that. Y'all, do y'all have to like come together? Is there like a private meeting of the ether beings and the gods that we just don't have a? So is it like a god card? We got to be invited to the barbecue because we got the black card. Can does the black card upgrade to like a god card? Like, do we have to do something to get it? Because I still ain't got my black card in the mail. So if y'all the same people that's responsible for the black card and giving out black cards to other people and inviting them to the picnic, I don't know if y'all could be trusted. Because I still ain't got my black card. Faise, you got your black card? Because I ain't got mine. I don't have mine, man. But that God card though, if I could just move up to platinum, if I could move up to platinum, just give me that card. You know what I'm saying? Give me the platinum, yo. I'll take the platinum all day. If I can just move up to the God status. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just let us know. I got space on the panel. There's two more spots if the gods and the goddesses want to come up. Because I got questions. Where y'all been at?
You talking about people claiming that?
Where y'all? Huh? Hey, Faze, I told him I ain't even get my black card yet. I need my God card.
Don't have no
You know what I'm
guys.
saying? I
Don't
feel like
have no
y'all
guys. I don't see no guys. They got to show me that.
I just asked him a simple question. I'm not a begging ass nigga, but y'all got these access to these extra realms. Hook your brothers and sisters up down here.
Check this out, right? When you used to say gods, you used to have of a thing come after that. God of what? Run
Right.
your mouth. What are people gods of now? We used to have the god of water. She could probably tell you everything about dihydrogen monoxide or the breakdown. Before it was called that, she could probably explain it. You used to have God of air. Probably could talk to you about the negative and positive charges in the air and or in the atmosphere and how they interact with one another. And we used to have a God of arts. We used to have a God of war. We used to have a God of everything. Now everybody saying we are gods. We got God of what? What are we running? What are we in control of? And I'm telling people, I don't expect this generation to get it. If this generation starts
See
on the
now,
path of understanding it, then your generations that come after you all won't be doomed. But I'm telling you, if you
see
don't
now,
speed up, that's what's going to happen. It happens every time. If you don't speed up, then somebody who's wiser than you is going to be like, you know what, this spiritual shit ain't getting me anywhere. Let me go study. Let me go build. Let me go learn about my body. Let me go do all this that the spiritual community is neglecting to do. And the thing is, if you decided to do it, y'all would be a lot further than even the scientists because you have that power that comes with being quote unquote spiritual. That drive that comes with caring for people who want to be philanthropists. Go ahead, baby. I see you.
No, I say I wish you could see the phone right now because I pinned this comment, and this is the type of stuff I be talking about. I love you, soulful expressions, but this is the type of stuff I be talking about. See, so y'all could put me up on game so that I can reach that level.
What the pin
Now,
comment say?
explain to me. No, 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 no. Explain to me what level is it that you're on? What is it that you have that I want? What would it be?
What did
What
the pin
knowledge
comment say?
do you what knowledge do you have that I don't
You heard
possess?
me, Heavy?
Is it it can't be the bank
Heavy.
account. It can't be the lifestyle. It can't so I just want to know what is this level up thing? And this is what I'm
Yo, you can
asking
hear me,
y'all.
Heavy?
Because it's always this oh no,
I said,
what'd you
what
say?
does the pin comment say?
It says some of us really are operating in our goddess state of being. Some as anything else, no one can do the work for you. All they could do is put others up on game for how to reach that level.
All
Heavy.
right, let me give you a secret because they're not going to tell you. All right? The Knights Templar, Jesuits,
Mhm.
Freemasonry, spirituality, Rosicrucianism, all the old schools are moving too slow right now for you to even get near the ascension conversation you really want to have. They are too slow. Alchemy is too slow. All of the sciences of the old world are too slow. Calling yourself gods and saying that that's too slow. Moving in any under any of those tones, I'm doing my best to tell y'all by showing you through example how people can't even answer about it. They're too slow. That world has already passed away. It has already passed away. The jig is up. The black man and woman is God has passed away. The white man is the devil has passed away. The I can turn lead into gold has passed away. The I'm a spiritual person has passed away. The take these crystals and wear it, that's passed away. The dashikis has passed away. The copper on the eye and on the wrist and under the nose has passed away. Everything that you think is at best, I'm telling you, has passed away. I watched it happen. And y'all are holding on to a world that has died. You will have no place in the new world if you do not have the way of the scientist enrooted in you. Question everything. Ask until the end. The moment somebody hands you a honey bottle and say, this is a honey bottle, and you take it and you just bull it to yourself, say, okay, I accept that. They have just deterred you from the path. Y'all have to shake yourselves awake again. You have to get it up off you. The same way some of y'all was like, I'm not following this religion. They can't answer my questions. They want to give me these fake images. They want to give me these fake leaders, these teachers. They want to do all of those stuff. Okay, then you woke up from that, right? And now here you are again in another religion in the same type of predicament. And I'm telling you, you got to do that same thing with these people. What make you think they're different? You have to do the same thing with them. You have to make them stand on it. You have to ask them questions about what they're talking about. And you need to be asking yourself, if they're saying this, that, and the third, first of all, a lot of these people talking about this, that, and the third, why are they still here? If they said I've ascended, I'm already on that level, then why don't the extraterrestrial beings you talk about find you worthy enough to even pull up on you and talk? They let you have to make an Instagram or a TikTok or a YouTube account. Man, if you were really on that level like you claiming you are, you will be able to turn your phone on. And we come on our phones one day and see you sitting right with them motherfuckers. You're not on that level that you think you're on. I'm telling you, if that level exists, you will not access it the way y'all are going. Don't get mad at me. Just pay attention and watch because it's happening again. Y'all are being awakened once more. Shake, shake, shake yourself awake. They're liars. They're grifters. They're schemers. They're skimmers. They're scammers. It has absolutely nothing to do with your soul. It has everything to do with the lust of their flesh and what they want to pursue while they're here. I'm telling you. And if you can't see it, that's on you, because I don't want to cause for disenfranchisement and strip you of your right to decide. You have the right to decide to follow. You have the right to, that doesn't make it necessarily a bad thing. Maybe some of y'all shouldn't be leaders at all. Some of you should be followers. That's possible. So I'm not attempting to rid anybody of it. I'm just saying the seat that I am in now is the seat of the tester and the questioner. If you think you know a thing, come talk to me and we'll figure it out. We'll see whether or not you do. And then allow that to be a part of the degrees that are notched on your belt. When you come say, I talked to Phase One, I got a lot of respect for him now. Or I talked to Phase One, and I called him a fraud. I said his soul was fake, and then at the end of that live, I told him I love him. Or I talked to Phase One, I said Bobby Hemming was a deep teacher, but then I got off the live. But before I got off the live, I said, yeah, Bobby Hemming was a nice entertainer. Listen, all false things are perishing. Take advantage of this time period and don't leave me out here by myself so they can try to isolate me. Y'all need to be questioning everything and everybody, including what? Yourselves. Anything you think you know, go back, start over, because that's going to wind up being that one thing that causes for too much density. And on this plane, you have to be the perfect weight. You have to be the perfect height for your seat, not anybody else's. And anything you holding on to, by the time that trumpet blowing, okay, it'll be the thing that causes you not to ascend. And that means your generations will pay for it. All right.
You guys call yourselves gods, and then when we ask these very simple questions, you give us the same things that an animal does, but you go out and buy a 10-piece box of chicken, eating the God, right? If you guys are gods, I don't want to be God. If you guys are gods, this is why the position of a theomachus was even created. Those that wrestle against God. If you're a god, do you not find it interesting why people would want to subdue you? And if you are God, how is it that you can be subdued? Do you ask yourself these questions? Speaking to my gods and goddesses, how is it that you are subdued? How is it that you don't have the most advanced tech? How is it that your bank account isn't sufficient? How is it you're not in the most opulent side of town? I guess you chose all of this for yourself. So not only are you a competent God, you're not a very reasonable God. So common luxuries you deny yourself. Okay. Healthy foods you deny yourself. Okay, you're doing this all on your own, God. I got questions. But if I really delve deeper into them, I don't think you'll be able to answer. So I don't ask these people these certain questions, and y'all know once they get into a certain position, I just kind of give them a space to get out. Because I know what that's like to be of a certain disposition and to hold on to it and someone snatch it away from you and not give you something else to sit on. You see? So, and sometimes you don't want to shatter people's paradigm too early. And I know a lot of times people want to give information, but sometimes it's just not time to give people that information. So sometimes I'm aware when it's just not that time to give people certain information. You know, most of y'all just want information. You don't want transformation. You just want information.
Exactly.
You just want to feel knowledgeable. You don't want to be wise. You don't want the understanding. You just want to be knowledgeable. Once again, it goes back to that validation that you're seeking from a world. And we just won't talk about it as a people. We like I find myself incorporating a lot of other things into my teachings, especially like heart space moments, because I realize our people are hurt. They ain't gonna say it. They'll say that white man ain't shit, man. We gods, man. We this, but they never just say,
Mm-hmm.
"I'm hurt." When's the last time you heard anybody say, "I'm
Right.
hurt"? If you can't just say you're hurt, the process to true healing won't happen. But I know y'all are God, so y'all don't hurt. But it's hurt hearing that. It hurt me hearing that shit. So, you know, hey, what you eating? Is it chitlins? Is it vegan chitlins, or is it
Yes.
You know they got vegan
I
chitlins.
think these, what do you call it, the garbanzo, somebody beans, one of the beans that they got from the bears or some shit. Garbanzo.
Kevin Samuels, that wasn't. I know he was just because people say things that are true. Oh no,
Them
that's
little
looking
beans,
good.
what they
Oh
call it,
yeah,
the Gonzales. There you go,
about
them niggas.
yeah. But I would I know y'all see these people, y'all see the product of what they've done or what they caused, the ripples that they've caused in the ocean. And no deed, I thank God for the life of the man of Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful that the brother, we got to experience him in our lifetime, you know. But with that being said, I don't think that he was the best thing for our community. You know, I think that the talks about relationships should come from the people that are actually having healthy relationships and have done it for a while. You know what they're called? They're called elders.
Mm-hmm.
We should lean on them to teach us about those things because they're successful in it
Yeah.
and they can be trustworthy. You know, that's something that we don't do in this community. It's just so funny. I never see the people that talk about relationships, their wives sitting next to them or them sitting next to them or any of their family. Just the same way when I hear people talk about their gods and goddesses. Did you tell your grandmama you was God? Did you tell your grandmama? Now I'm skip over your mama. I'm saying your grandmama. Did you tell your grandmama you was
Your
God?
grandmama would have had a fit.
Look up and tell her you are God.
She would have had a
God.
fit.
I mean,
You ain't never been rebuked until you tell your grandmama you got. She would have said the blood, and that's the next thing you would have seen, blood. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to Heavy.
but y'all gods. Unless y'all playing spiritual Comic Con. Unless that's what we doing. We just playing spiritual Comic Con. We just dress up and go play this outside and then go in the house and do
It's
something different.
called cosplay. You playing with the cause. The cause don't mean nothing to you. You playing with it.
Yeah, come on, man. I know what's going on. Y'all really know what's going on. Hey, what was y'all? Be honest. Y'all can laugh at it now because hopefully y'all done got past this stage. And what was your super
Yo,
spiritual?
what?
Was you in, what was your super spiritual suit? Was you in your Easter Sunday's best? Was you in your Hebrew Israelite golden purple? Was you in which costumes did y'all have on when y'all was out
The
there?
dashikis. Most people wearing just wearing the dashikis.
Mm.
Now they wear what they want to wear. So it don't even matter no more. They used to have uniforms.
I saw I saw a dude number Fruit of the Looms
Hmm?
covered in copper. Copper on his neck, copper on his wrist, copper on his knees, copper on his ankles.
You
Just
need to get
walking
that
in some Fruit of the
checked
Looms,
out.
man. Just that,
You
yeah.
need to get that checked out.
That was a thin line, man.
You need that much. You need
Some of
that
y'all,
much copper. Something wrong. Get that checked out.
Yeah, y'all. Hey, what's the time Faze got on call?
Huh?
It looked like a captain.
Yeah, it's some
I
type
don't
of
know.
dog, some shit.
Yeah, it looked like more like up in Morocco, Algeria area, like a captain more so than a.
Yep. Man, it's gonna get better, y'all. Just don't. I wish people would stop getting mad at me, man, and thinking I'm being disrespectful because I'm putting you on. Like, this your opportunity to shine. Prove that you know what you saying you know. Prove that you are what